Today we're going to talk about what you should do with your TSP, Thrift Savings Plan, immediately after you turn 59 and a half. You first have to start off by asking yourself 4 questions, and we're going to go through those 4 questions, and then I've got a very powerful story for you. The first question you want to ask yourself is, okay, am I within 5 years of retirement, or am I already retired? The reason why is if you look at a mountain, right? The mountain going up is your accumulation years. This is where you're saving, you're working hard, you've got a paycheck coming in. But once you get towards the top of the mountain, which is 5 years before and 5 years after, this is what we call the danger zone. And this is where all the mistakes happen. And if you were to lose 20% of your TSP in a down market, according to Ted Benna, who started defined contribution plans, which a TSP is a defined contribution plan, you contribute to it. If you were to lose 20% due to market volatility, he said you would never recover it during retirement. So that's a big problem. So if you're 5 years before retirement or 5 years after and you're in that danger zone, chances are you're going to want to be a little bit safer with your TSP money. Now, there's different types of funds that the TSP offers. Some have more risk, some have less. But as you get older and as you get closer to retirement, it's not so much about how much do you earn, it's how much do you not lose. So the first question is, am I within that danger zone with my TSP? Am I getting close to retirement or am I already retired? Then you have to ask yourself, number 2, how much am I willing to lose? The best way to find this number out is, okay, if I have $1 million and you fill in the blank, whatever the number is for you. If I have $1 million saved, the best way to ask yourself, how much am I willing to lose, is to go by this simple question. Let's say you have $1 million total. So maybe 800,000 is in a TSP, 200,000 is in an IRA. You have $1 million saved. And whatever that amount is for you, put that in the blank. So out of the blank in liquid investable assets, how much am I willing to lose? Now, whatever that number is, you need to write that down. So how much am I willing to comfortably lose? If maybe the answer is 10% or 20%, then the difference would need to be in something safer. So if you say, well, I've got $1 million saved, I'm willing to comfortably lose 200,000 or 20%, then 800,000 really needs to be in something that is safer, something where you're not going to lose money in your TSP. So do that exercise before we go into number 3. You have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of the TSP? There's really only 4 purposes to any bucket of money. The first purpose is safety. Typically on an average portfolio, this is going to be 5 to 10%. It's going to be in a checking or savings account. It's not designed for anything else but to get access to in a pinch. If Fluffy gets sick, it's a $10,000 vet bill, the heating and air unit explodes, the roof blows away in a tornado, you can get access to that checking or savings money. Maybe it's a money market, but in $1 million, it's usually 50 to 100 grand. The second purpose of any bucket of money is income. So once safety or emergency funds are taken care of, the next important bucket is income. You may live 30 plus years in retirement, you or your spouse. So you need to have a giant bucket of money that's going to last you the rest of your life. Call it an unemployment benefit, where you have to pay for your own unemployment in retirement. Typically, this is 50 to 70% of your entire portfolio. This is to acquire income in retirement. The third purpose of any bucket of money is growth. Typically, this is 10 to 20% of your overall portfolio. This could be for short-term or long-term growth. This could be for a new vehicle. It could be for a bucket list vacation around the world, a college fund, a wedding. This has got a specific purpose to that bucket of money, and you can be a little bit more risky with the growth, provided you have enough in the income to cover your bills, cover your fund money, cover any sort of gifts or generosity, and that income is steady, it's guaranteed, and it's coming in every month. You can be more risky with growth if there's a guaranteed income coming in, because if the growth goes away in a down market, you're not going to be living under a bridge. The fourth and final purpose of any bucket of money is going to be long-term care / estate planning or death benefit. This is the last one. It's important, but it's the least important, simply because not everybody has enough money to leave a ton of money behind to their beneficiaries. Not everybody everybody has enough money to buy a long-term care plan, and it is important, but it's the least important out of the 4 buckets. So it's in order of importance from first to fourth. So typically with the long-term care / estate planning, 0 to 20% of your portfolio would go into that, depending upon your needs. So you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of this TSP? Is it for income? Is it for safety? Is it for growth? Or is it for estate planning? If it is for income or growth, that leads us to number 4, which is maybe it's time to do an in-service rollover. If you happen to be in a position where you're approaching retirement or already retired, you may not have known this, but you can actually do what's called an in-service rollover, where you can take your earnings off the poker table and you can put it into something specifically designed for income, specifically designed for growth, specifically designed for long-term care planning, specifically designed for death benefit. You can take your money out of it and keep contributing to your TSP while you're working and finishing up your working years, and you can basically put it into something safer, put it into something that's going to grow and compound but still have safety of principle. I'll leave you with a story. I have a client, we'll call her Mimsy. That's not her name, but she works for the post office. She actually delivers our mail, and she saw me on the news actually, and she came and she's like, I had no idea what you guys did. I'm in and out, and I want to talk to you about my TSP. And we were able to help Mimsy with an unbelievable plan for her TSP. Now she's still working, but we did an in-service rollover. We took a chunk of her money and we moved it into something for income that got a nice bonus up front. It's safely growing. She made a bunch of interest her first year. And then she referred me to her other friend at the post office who was like, I'm ready to retire right away. We helped him with his TSP. And all of a sudden, they're referring everybody at the post office because the alternatives that the post office was offering was inferior to what we were offering. In fact, they had a program where it locks up their money for 3 years, and most people don't want that. If you have a TSP and you're approaching that danger zone where you're like, okay, I'm getting close to retirement, or maybe I'm already retired and you need some help with your TSP, I want to invite you to click the link below, schedule a 15-minute complimentary call with our team where you can see, without any obligation, without any cost, what might be a good strategy for your TSP. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.